Welcome to Beat Diabetes, and I am Dennis Pollock. I'm glad you decided to tune in. Don't touch that dial. Just love to say that. But I want to share a comment that was left under one of my videos. This individual says, I'm 60. Well, to me, that's just a youngster. I'm 60. Just over a year ago, age 59, apparently, I was feeling terrible. I thought I was dying. I had arthritis in my hands and feet, heart palpitations, all the symptoms of severe diabetes. The doctor said, well, it comes with age. And I'm thinking, this individual was 59 when this happened. 59 is young. A 59-year-old should not have arthritis in their hands and feet, should not be having heart palpitations. They should be living a good, healthy life with freedom from diabetic complications. And they go to the doctor and say, I've got this and I've got that and I've got arthritis and all that goes with that. And all the doctor can say is, well, you're not young anymore. It comes with age. You can stretch out your age and your health by making some wise decisions and keeping your glucose levels under control. This person found out their A1C was 6.3, which is not quite diabetic. It's close. 6.5 is the marker. It's the boundary line where you're crossing over from pre-diabetic to diabetic. So they were close, but they weren't quite there. And this person says the way I felt at the time was terrible. It's kind of interesting. Some people get all kinds of diabetic complications before they're officially diabetic. And others can be well past the line into their A1C of over 7. And still they feel just fine. You say, Dennis, why is that? And the answer is, I don't know. People are different. But this individual, before they ever reached a diabetic A1C, they were already having symptoms of diabetes. The same was true with me. Even before I was officially diabetic, I was getting symptoms and having all kinds of problems and severe arthritis and other issues. And yet the doctor told me, well, you're not diabetic. This was some years before I came to the worst of it. But I was having problems. So, not a good thing. So this individual says, I went on a low-carb diet, and within 3 days I felt so much better. Stop, rewind. I went on a low-carb diet, and within 3 days I felt so much better. Amazing how quickly things can turn around. Now, not for everybody. Some people it may not be 3 days, it may be 3 months. But for this individual, they're starting to feel better after 3 days because, my friend, your body was not made to overdose on carbohydrates. Yeah, we can handle carbohydrates in moderate amounts, but not overdose. And first of all, you take just the natural carbs that we eat too many of, too many potato helpings, too much pasta, and a lot of things that we just don't need, too much rice. But then you got all the junk carbs like chips, like sweets, sugary desserts, and all these things. And you put the junk carbs with the natural carbs, and you get up to a level where you're eating 300 grams of carbs per day, or 250. Just way too much, way more than Grandpa ever ate, or great-grandpa. And your body wasn't made for that. And it's going to rebel at a certain point. Now, the reality is, in some ways, now hear me out, this is going to sound crazy, but in some ways, the diabetic complications that people experience are a blessing to them because they are a warning. They're a warning that you're going the wrong direction and you need to make some serious changes. Think about pain for a minute. Imagine you have a little baby. If you're a woman, you just had the baby. If you're a man, your wife just had the baby. Okay, so you got a little baby boy, let's say. And the doctor comes and says, well, I've tested your baby. He's healthy in almost every way, but there is one issue with that baby. That baby has no feeling of pain. Pain means nothing to him. Doesn't matter what happens. He feels no pain. would you say, well, hallelujah, my baby will never experience pain in his life. What a blessing that is. No, you wouldn't say that if you got any sense at all. Pain is a very valuable thing. It tells us when we've got problems. When I was a teenager, I was mowing our front yard, and my dad had taken the muffler had fallen apart or come off, and my dad had put a straight pipe on the lawnmower, which I didn't know at the time, and that is where the heat all came out. And so while I was mowing the lawn, that little pipe, which was just about red hot, fell off the lawnmower. And when I went to the end of the lawn and turned the mower around and started coming back the other way, I saw that pipe, that metal pipe, in the lawn. And I did not realize that had just come off the lawnmower and was very, very hot. And I was just curious, what's this pipe doing in the lawn? I reached down and picked it up. And boom, I immediately dropped it. It was so hot. I still burned my fingers. But how much worse would it have been if I didn't have any feeling for pain, if I couldn't feel pain? I would have held it and looked at it, wondered what it is, thought about it, turned it around a couple of different directions while my flesh is burning off my bones. Now, diabetic complications are a warning from your body saying, Bob, Mary, Susan, Bill, whatever your name is, you got to stop this. You got to stop this. It's your body rebelling against all the carbohydrates you are ingesting. The junk carbs, the natural carbs, the 300 grams of carbs per day. It's your body saying, stop, please. So this person felt arthritis, felt some symptoms. He went low carb. He felt better. And as a result, he's like, well, I know the way to go now. And the same is true for me. That's why it's easier to beat diabetes than it is to overcome obesity by itself. There's a lot of people that are obese and they don't want to be obese. They look in the mirror, they don't like what they see. They know it's not very healthy for them, but they continue to be obese and they go on a little diet and lose a few pounds and then they gain them back and forth. They don't have enough motivation, but a lot of the diabetics, when they've got complications like this person is describing, they get serious about it. I did. I got serious about it. They go low carb, and in many cases, they will stay low carb because they have experienced the pain of diabetic complications, the neuropathy, the arthritis, the irritable bowel syndrome, the frozen shoulders, times where they nearly pass out, all of these things. The doctor telling them your kidneys are failing. They experience all this, and they're ready for a change. The saddest thing in the world, though, is in some cases, people are ready for a change. They know they're diabetic. They know they're in bad shape. They've got all these complications. They're ready. They're like, somebody show me the way. And they can't seem to figure it out. And so they don't really get any better. And sadly, in many cases, a nutritionist will come along and say, well, if you'll change your white potatoes for sweet potatoes, and if you'll change your white rice for brown rice, and if you'll be a little more moderate with your sugar, you'll improve. And they hardly improve at all. It's not enough. It's not ruthless enough. You got to get radical. And you got to feel the need. But if you don't know what to do, you may have the greatest desire, and you're still lost because you have no sense of direction. For a while, that was me. I didn't know what to do. I knew I had problems. I was ready. I was like, if anybody can come along and show me, if you want me to dye my hair orange, I'll dye my hair orange. If you want me to go on a diet of cucumbers, I'll eat cucumbers every day. Somebody show me the way to get out of this. And I had a false start where somebody said, be a vegetarian, and things got worse. But finally, when I read Dr. Bernstein and Dr. Robert Atkins, and somebody gave me a glucose meter and I started testing myself, a light went on over my head. It's like, okay. And I started watching my glucose level stabilize. Let me say that word, It's a beautiful word, one of the most beautiful words in the dictionary, stabilize. I watched my glucose stabilize and come down to a decent, reasonable level. So he says within 3 days I felt better. It won't always be that way for all of us. But if you'll give it enough time, you'll feel better. But more importantly, the numbers will vindicate you. I mean, ultimately, the question is not how you feel. There are some diabetics that feel quite fine. They feel good. They don't have those complications yet. So it's really not just how do you feel. What do the numbers say? What kind of glucose levels do you have? And are you spiking up and down all over the place every day? Get your spikes under control, get the numbers at a reasonable level, and then rejoice. If you've recently been diagnosed with diabetes and you've just discovered this channel, let me recommend that you go to our Uploads page, which will give you access to every diabetic video we've posted since we began. As you work your way through all our videos, I believe you'll find the help you need. A link to our Uploads page is in the description.